Jackie, I'm so sorry. When I'm done handling the damage to our car and talking over what happened in the accident, I'll be heading right to the hospital.
All right.
I still have to talk with the person we hit and have them get our insurance information. Anyway, how are your legs doing?
The doctors think that I'll never be able to walk again. There was a few fractures in my lower spine, and they completely caused me to become paralyzed from the waist down. My femur is broken as well, but I can't feel it, so it's not painful for me.
I'm sorry. It's because of me not paying any attention and running that red light. I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. I promise that no matter what happens to you, I'll always be here to take care of you, so forgive me.
What happened, and so there's nothing we can do but move on from this. You can't expect there to be any way of reversing what's happened, and that's fine.
But it's not fine. It's because of my lack of care that you ended up losing the ability to walk. I feel like I can never be around you anymore, or else I might get you hurt again.
But you don't have to keep beating yourself up over it, since it's all in the past now. I can already see that you've suffered enough having to worry about me. I was pretty upset myself, but thinking about all of this, I'm just happy that the two of us are still alive. And the fact that the other driver ended up walking away with no injuries is great for everyone as well.
Jackie.
I want to eat something sweet right now, Will. I can't move out of bed right now, and there's no way for me to get to the hospital's cafeteria. When you come to see me, can you buy some dessert for me? Maybe some cake, or an ice cream.
I can. I'll buy you your favorite cake and come. Wait, but is it really okay for you to be eating cake right now?
I told you that I want to eat it, so you'd better get some and bring it here. I'm sure the doctors won't care that I get to have something that'll cheer me up.
All right. Another thing, I really don't think I can see your parents right now.
My parents were both shocked to hear the news, but at the moment, they're both really calm. You'll be fine.
I hope so. I'm sure they'll try to get me to leave you or something. And after what's happened, I'm in no place to say no to them.
But even I don't want the two of us separating. And I promised that my parents would never ask that of you. You've already talked about this, and they said accidents happen to everyone. I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Honestly, they've already know you've paid a price because you totaled that nice car of yours.
But if I was in their shoes, I'd never be able to forgive me for what I've done. I've literally caused the accident that took away your ability to walk. Me losing my favorite car is one thing, and it can be replaced. But you losing your legs is a completely different thing and far from personal to them.
I told you, Will. You'll be fine. My parents are not those kind of people. I'm sure they're a bit upset over what's happened to me, but I think they're more happy to see that we're both still here.
I'm a failure, Jackie. I was the one that pretty much ruined your life.
I can understand that this is really hard for you to take in. And I know that after this, there will be even more tough bridges we'll have to cross together. But because we have each other, we'll be able to make it. So, let's do our best together?
Okay, you're right. Just like you said, Jackie. I'll make sure to give you my all to make sure you're okay. Even if that means having to sacrifice some of my time to be there for you.
Thank you. I'm sure for a little while, I'll be a bit of a burden on you, but I will do my best to move on from this and make myself more independent again. I promise that. Will, are you going to be late again getting out of work?
I'm sorry. I do have a lot of work to catch up on again.
Is that so? Well, I worked really hard to make your favorite dinner for tonight. Grilled chicken with mashed potatoes and some asparagus. I was wondering if you'd be able to eat it when you get home. I can keep it warm for you in the oven so that it's ready to eat when you get back.
No, I don't think tonight will work. I'll eat it over for breakfast tomorrow. I have plans with another coworker of mine to go hit a fast food joint after work.
All right. Then I'll make sure to put your food in some plastic tubs and leave it in the fridge for you.
Hey, Jackie. You really don't have to put in that much effort into cooking for me. Don't even worry that much about making food for me at all, and just take care of yourself.
But I'm only able to sit around the house all day and keep myself busy here. It's been boring just sitting in front of the TV or having to read books all day. Recently, I've even gotten to the point where I can do all the chores at the house on my own. Vacuuming, doing laundry, cooking, taking care of the trash. So I am really trying to get back to handling everything by myself. That way, you don't have to worry about the house when you're around.
But seeing you work so hard, well, what should I say? It makes me feel bad for you.
But I'm doing all of this because I want to. It's not like I'm forcing myself to do any of this. So you really don't have to feel all that bad about me cleaning.
But you really do not need to do the chores. Ah, that's right. I wanted to tell you that it's fine to go back to your parents' house for a while. By doing that, you'll be able to relax a bit more, right? Their house is a lot more open as well, so it'll be easier to get around, and both your parents will take better care of you.
I'm not going to go back to my mom and dad. I feel if I do that, they'll expect they have to do everything for me. And they're both getting to the age now where they can't really be doing that for me anymore.
What's wrong with that? Ever since you got out of the hospital, you've been bound to that wheelchair. And you still have to go to your rehabilitation every week. And the apartment we're staying in is way too narrow for you to get around well enough. You're always bumping into the walls and such to the point where there are some holes in them. I just think it's not the best place for you to live right now.
But if I go back to them, then we'll be far apart for a long time.
But I'm worried about you. I have to be at work a lot of the time, and leaving you all alone at home, well, I just worry about you in case there's an emergency and I'm not around. What if there was a fire or something? Or a tornado? Do you think you could get into cover quick enough?
Well, until something like that is actually happening, we won't know if it'd be a problem for me.
But you can't run away. We live on the 3rd floor of that apartment building, and if the elevator were to go out, then you'd be finished. You can't use the stairs anymore, can you?
Well, if you begin to think of me like that, then you'll never be at peace with yourself because things like disasters can happen anywhere. If you're that worried, how about we move into a small house or into the 1st floor of this apartment building? Then there'd be more room for me, and I'll be able to escape in any kind of emergency.
But do you think we have the time to move into a new place now? I have to work a lot, and you can't really pack things up at home all too well on your own.
Well, if you don't have time to move, then let's do our best to make living here as comfortable for the both of us possible. If I were to move back to my parents for a while, what would we do after that? If you think that I'd be able to move back here after all the reasons you just listed off, things might now work out as well. I am going to be in this wheelchair for the rest of my life. Could this mean that you want to live forever apart?
That's not what I meant. I just want to say that I'm really worried about you living in our apartment right now.
And that's why I am doing my best to make sure that I don't cause any trouble for the people around me. Can you just trust me a little bit on this?
This isn't about me trusting you or not, though.
Then, could this mean you just want me gone?
You're wrong.
Well, recently you haven't been around the apartment much. And when you do come home, you go right to bed. And on your days off, you leave here to go out on your own somewhere. And so it just looks like to me you don't want to be around me.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
What?
To be blunt, it hurts me to look at you.
Huh?
When I see you, I remember the accident that I put us both through. And deep inside, I feel as though everyone keeps blaming me for it. I see your parents blaming me, your family blaming me, your friends, everyone.
You should be trying not to think about whose fault it was and working to move past what happened.
But it's too much for me to handle right now. Every single day is terrible for me.
Don't say things like that, Will.
I'm sorry, but that's just how I've been feeling, Jackie. I don't want to see you right now.
Are you going to throw me away?
Don't say what I'm doing like that. If you still want to stay married to me, then I think that we can stay together just the same way we always have been.
But you want us to live in separate houses. At that point, there's no reason to stay together.
But I'm not saying that we have to get a divorce or anything.
But that would be the worst. I don't want that. I would never be able to live with myself.
But when I think about you, Jackie, all I can do is say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll leave everything up to you, Jackie.
I'm done. I understand what you want. And we'll be getting a divorce.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, you don't want to be around me anymore, right? So there's no reason for me to stay married to you if you're never going to be with me.
That's because I took your ability to walk away.
Forget about it already. Because I'm going to be forgetting about you. Now, go ahead and do whatever will make you happy again. Well, I heard something from my mom.
You did? Your mom really doesn't have the best timings for things. I never thought that she'd be the one to just come into the apartment to grab all your things without telling me first.
It's only been a few days since we divorced Will. Yet, you already have another woman living with you there now? So, for a long time, you've been wanting a divorce, huh? You must have been cheating on me, right?
That's not it. The moment we divorced, I ran into the woman of my dreams. We'd realized that we're both meant for one another, and so we've just started living together. I was able to get the key to our apartment back from her. So, make sure to tell her to never come back here again.
You are literally the worst, Will. You have really done it this time. If you had a woman with you besides me, then you should have just told me that instead of saying it hurt to look at me. Did you not want to pay me anything for having an affair?
But I'm saying that I haven't been cheating on you. Do you have any evidence of me being with her while we were married?
But how can you start living with another woman that quickly when we only just got divorced a week ago? I know for a fact that you had been with her before the divorce.
Well, if you happen to find the person of your dreams, then you'd go after them too, right? And you should be happy. I only started dating her after we divorced. That way, there's no problem now because you and I are just strangers. Do you think we could get back together or something? In 1 month? In 6 months? Maybe in a year from now?
I don't know.
If you take a look at the internet, you'll see that 19% of men end up finding another partner within a month of their divorce. So me finding her this early on is completely fine. And I'm sorry, but I don't think I was ever coming back for you after this. I have my dream partner now, so I can't be changed.
But I've never heard of someone finding another partner within a few days after a divorce.
Well, it just so happens that you have now. And also, shouldn't you be forgetting about me now? Do you think it's healthy to keep thinking about me after a divorce?
What the heck? Your attitude has really changed, Will. Before the divorce, you were so sorry for what had happened to me. But now you're acting as though within 3 days you've never felt bad for me before?
Well, I'm doing what you're doing and moving forward with my life. So come on now. Stop trying to talk to me about my life and just focus on creating a new life of your own. And I mean, you still have to be in a wheelchair. You should be doing your best to make life a bit brighter for yourself.
I cannot believe this. You have been hiding all that from me this whole time.
I've not been hiding anything from you. Please stop trying to doubt me so much. It's making me feel sick to my stomach listening to you.
But there were still some of my things over at your apartment. So how did you manage to change your life so quickly without at least letting myself fully move on? You have been having an affair for a while now because of my disability, right?
Can you stop with all this? You and I are no longer together. In a divorce, I made sure to split our properties with you, so there's no reason to still be complaining about me. I've had enough of this. I'm trying my hardest to forget everything about you. But you're making that difficult by sitting here and arguing with me.
But it's because of the way you lied to me about yourself and her. That I cannot just let you run away from me.
You told me to live however I wanted to, right?
But I didn't think that would mean letting that woman you've hid from me live with you in just a couple days. I am not going to be forgiving you for any of this.
Even though you said you'd forget about me as soon as possible? Well, think about me all you'd like. But don't think that I'm the monster just because you had the wrong idea here. I was finally able to get myself away from the disabled woman that haunted me. I'm making sure to throw away all my grudges against you, and I'm going to start celebrating my freedom. Jackie, long time no see.
Who is this?
It's me, Will. Did you already forget about your ex-husband?
Well, that might have been because I cleared out all your contact information a long time ago. So, what the heck do you want with me?
Well, I just wanted to say that a little bit ago, I saw you when I go into the hotel near the bus station. I just been at my new CEO celebration for being promoted, but I want to know what happened to you.
It has nothing to do with you.
Oh, don't be so cold, Jackie. Maybe that was you going to see another man? You're all dressed up and had some sexy makeup on.
I don't want to talk with you right now. Goodbye.
Wait a sec, it's been so long since you and I had a chance to chat about. Can you at least entertain me a little with some talk?
Well, I don't want to stick around to entertain a man like you.
Dang, I can tell the things between you and I have really fallen off then, huh? But listen, I can see that you still don't have the ability to walk. So glad that I got rid of you while I had the chance. I knew that spending the rest of my life living with a cripple would have been tough, so thank goodness you're no longer my wife. You no longer have to worry about coming to work tomorrow. Huh? What's up? What's happened to you now? I am Jackie's husband. I can see that you have no problem being rude to my wife. Huh? Jackie's husband? Hey, what are you actually talking about? Was talking to me so bad that you lost all your sanity? I know there's not a single man on this planet that wants to carry a cripple in a wheelchair. Don't you think it's time to get a hold of yourself? If you continue to talk badly about my wife, I may have to start thinking about suing you. I'm telling you to cut the crap, Jackie. There's no reason we have to be this insane right now. You must be William O'Reilly from sales. Yeah, that's me. That's exactly who I am. But you have known that for a long time now, Jackie. Do you understand what kind of work my company does that you're a part of? We make sure that anyone with a disability has access to health care and home service so they can reliably live a comfortable life. And so what? I don't care what your so-called company does. I knew you weren't gonna last. You're gonna be fired. I'll make sure to let your boss, Caden, know of this. Huh? Why do you know that my boss is Caden? Caden only just became the head of the sales department this year. And that'll be because I'm part of the company you work for. Wait, so this really hasn't been Jackie all this time? I told you at the start that I am Jackie's husband. And I am the current CEO of the company that you are employed in, Jeremy White. What? What? You're lying about that, right? You'll be able to know if this was a lie starting tomorrow. Actually, I'm talking with your boss, Caden, right now, and so you'll hear about this very soon. Can you slow down for just a minute? I just got a text from Caden asking me what I've done. Do you believe me now? I'm so sorry! I didn't realize that I've been talking with you, Jeremy, and just happened to say a lot of inappropriate things. And the one you should be apologizing to is my wife, Jackie. And that's exactly what I'll do. I'm so very sorry for what has just happened. I'd heard a lot about you from my wife. She's told me that because of your reckless driving, you got into an accident and took away her ability to walk, and then soon after threw her away. When I'd first heard from her about that, I wondered to myself if there was really anyone out there actually okay with doing such a thing to their significant other. But now, hearing that it happens to be one of my own employees that's done that. Did she just tell you about all that a little bit ago? Because I had assumed if you knew about me, I would have never been hired by the company. Right, Sean just texted me these things when she saw you had texted me. She had been very good at forgetting everything about you until just a bit ago when you decided to start contacting her again. But now that I'm aware of the man you really are, I've made the decision to have you fired immediately. I'm so sorry, sir. I never meant to be that rude to her. I'll make sure that I've apologized to her as soon as I can. You threw my wife away a long time ago, huh? What makes you think I want you around her again? You really are one of the scummiest men I know. I'm so sorry. But on a personal level, I am thankful for what happened. Thankful about me? Yes, you're so nice to let go of such a wonderful woman for me. And having my chance to start going out with her made me the luckiest man in the world. And because of her, I've made it all the way to where I am now. You're right, Jackie is... Jackie is really wonderful and so considerate of others. She made sure that we all continued moving forward and never looked back. Then why did you decide to leave my wife? Well, about that. There were just some really bad feelings between us. Well, I'll let you keep all that to yourself. As of right now, none of that has anything to do with the current situation. I'm gonna make sure that I rethink everything I've said and make a proper apology to you. So please don't think about having me let go. This and that are very different situations. What's happened just a moment ago confirms to me that you're a real jerk. You just made fun of my disabled wife. Whether it's my company or any other, in this day and age, no CEO wants to have a person like you employed in their company. But I now know how wrong that was of me. I promise that I'll never do anything like that to anyone ever again. Oh, it seems that my wife has something she wants to tell you. Huh?
This is Jackie. Don't ever try talking to me again, okay? And I'll just make sure have you blocked just in case.
All right, I'll never talk to you again. And I'm sorry about what I just said. I was just surprised to see how beautiful a woman you've become is all. And for some reason, I thought that maybe you were living a much lonelier life than you actually are. And so seeing you so happy made me get a bit upset with you.
Someone that gets upset over a stranger's happiness shows that you really are the worst kind of scum. Remember when you told me that you'd celebrate being free from me back in the day?
I'm so very sorry about what happened between us back then. I was just suffering with a mental illness back then.
Huh? Even though I was the one that ended up being a paraplegic? And you can't act as though you were that depressed about things when you had the energy and will to go out and cheat on me.
Please, Jackie, can you please get your husband to forgive me? I've been working so hard to make sure that I can stay on task with my career.
Why do I have to be the one to listen to what you've asked? We're complete strangers now, right? And it's not like you have to apologize to my husband anyway. You have to apologize to me.
I'm so sorry, Jackie. I really made too many mistakes back then.
Well, it doesn't matter to me now.
Are you going to be able to forgive me? I know that you're too nice to let me suffer, right? I can even see that you haven't changed a bit since we last talked to each other.
I'm saying it doesn't matter anymore because there's no reason to forgive you. After this, there will literally be nothing keeping us in touch.
Please don't say something like that. After all, I'm your ex-husband.
I forgot about you.
What?
Because of my ability to forget about you so easily, I have been living my best life with Jeremy. So thank you so much for throwing me away 5 years ago. I'm no longer upset with you, so you can go and celebrate my happiness in your free time, okay? After that, my ex-husband really did end up getting fired by my husband's company. Of course, even though he was working for a company that cared for those with disabilities, the reason for his firing had nothing to do with what he said to me. For a while now, due to the way that he would treat other co-workers in his department and the lack of effort he gave, he had been on the company's naughty list as they waited for the right chance to let him go. Of course, still hearing about him losing his job there leaves me with a warm feeling in my chest. But I must ask, how did he even ever end up in a company like that in the first place? I had assumed with how he was upset with me, he would never want to be in a company that supported other disabled people. Well, I'm sure that he only said those things about me being disabled because he had another woman in his life. But as far as I'm aware, that woman and him actually broke up a while back, and he's been living on his own for a few years. Apparently, he was just a jerk to everyone he met, and so how he treated that woman wasn't an exception. And so ever since then, he's not been able to find himself any other woman that want to be around him. Well, anyway, Will is now unemployed and it's in the middle of the year when companies aren't really hiring. So, I wonder what he'll be able to do now. One thing is for sure though, and that's that I'm living a happier life than he is. I may be bound to a wheelchair, but because I found a man as accepting as my husband, every day of my life has been wonderful for me. And I never have any regrets of divorcing my ex back in the day, because things would have never worked between us. In order to not have myself live in the dark with Will, I made sure to try my hardest while on my own. And that's how I was able to pull myself up and out of that depressing world my ex had me in. I don't even worry anymore about what happened in the accident, and I'm just living life as though nothing's even wrong with me. And even though I'm happy with life now, I'll continue to work hard on being self-sufficient with my disability, and with the help of my husband, have the rest of my life to do so, and with love.